Duck fans, and happy Valentine's! For this month of romance, we're going to take a look at the various loves in Donald Duck's life. Now, when most people think of Donald Duck having a romantic partner, their minds instinctively go to Daisy Duck. To be fair, she is the most well-known, but she isn't Donald's one and only. In 1937, Donald Duck gets his first on-screen girlfriend in the cartoon Donna and Donald. Donna Duck is often seen as the prototype of Daisy Duck, and for a long time it was assumed she was Daisy under a different name, up until 1951 when Donna and Daisy meet in the Bob Carp comics. There are still people who claim they are the same. Even Disney themselves produced some merchandise that say Daisy Duck debuted as Donna Duck in 1937, but I'm not convinced. There are no official sources other than these pieces of merchandise that proves they are the same, not that I've been able to find. However, there are at least a dozen comics featuring Donna as a character separate from Daisy, so I see them as two individuals. There are fan theories claiming Donna is Daisy's sister and the mother of April, May, and June, Daisy's nieces, but given the interactions between Donna and Daisy, particularly their first meeting, I don't feel there's any support to the sister theory. When we first see Donna again in the comics, she and Daisy mostly get along, though Donna often talks about the differences between courting in America and courting in her home country of Mexico. Donald's relationship with Daisy isn't particularly clear in the comics featuring Donna, as he seems to court her and make Daisy jealous over whatever it is he and Donna have. There is one comic where Donna introduces Donald to her boyfriend Manuel Gonzalez, but this is obviously just a one-time joke as this character never appears again. In 2012, Donna is shown to be in a committed relationship with Donald's cousin, Abner Whitewater Duck, so I assume Donald and Donna are without a doubt now over. Daisy herself was introduced in 1940 in the cartoon Mr. Duck Steps Out. Back in this first appearance of Daisy, she had the same speech mannerisms as Donald, as she was also voiced by Clarence Nash. Donna notably also spoke in that distinctive duck voice. It wasn't until 1945 when Daisy gets her comprehensible voice by way of the actress Gloria Blondell, who voiced Daisy from 1945 to 1950. Now, I know this isn't a popular opinion, but I'm not fond of the romance between Donald and Daisy Duck. Throughout the early cartoons featuring Daisy, we see she's not the kindest nor the most sympathetic of lovers. She often berates Donald, she criticizes him harshly for his unintelligible way of speaking, calls him ill-mannered, and reprimands him when he's the innocent one involved in an argument. She's ignored Donald's feelings for her more than one occasion, openly dating his cousin Gladstone to deliberately make him jealous, which is unfair as she then gets upset with Donald for having a short temper. They often fight, and I just don't see this as a healthy relationship. There's also the possibility that Donald and Daisy are related. Don Rosa supports the theory that Huey, Dewey, and Louie's father was Daisy's brother, making Daisy their biological aunt. But aside from that, there's a possibility the two are related distantly through, oddly enough, Ludwig von Drake. A trio of experts in Donaldism from the 1970s, going by the pseudonym Groby and Gantz, believed Ludwig was Daisy's biological uncle. We know that Ludwig is Donald's uncle on his mother's side, so Donald and Daisy are either cousins by blood or cousins through marriage. That might not bother some people, but for me it is a little weird. To round out this list of Donald's affairs, we have Reginella, or Regina, a queen from space. Donald's first encounter with Reginella is in the underwater kingdom peopled by the alien inhabitants from the planet Pacificus. Story goes that their spaceship had been damaged at some point when flying close to Earth, and they had to make an emergency landing. They hadn't been able to repair their ship, so they built a civilization inside of a giant bubble, a barrier that keeps the population from aging too quickly. There's a notable difference between Earth's process of time and Pacificus's process of time. Donald was deep-sea diving when he happened upon the underwater kingdom and was taken captive by the people there. It was love at first sight for both Donald and Reginella, but the Queen understood that Donald was not one of her people, emphasized by his behavior. She gifts Donald a medallion and sends him back to the surface world. Depressed by the rejection, Donald tosses the medallion back into the sea. Later, the Pacificans figure out how to fix their ship, but the last piece they need to finalize the repairs is only found on the surface world. Reginella herself goes topside to find this component and finds Donald as well. The two rekindle their relationship, but she's reminded of her duties and is forced to leave him again. They meet yet again when Reginella and her people fall victim to an evil alien race that has conquered her planet through violence. As the Pacificans are pacifistic, they had no way to defend off the attack. Reginella appeals to Donald, who comes to her aid and defeats the alien threat for her. However, she realizes that Donald is simply too violent to adhere to her planet's way of things, and they separate again. Again and again, something comes to threaten Pacificus, and again, Donald returns to save the day, inevitably having to leave again for one reason or another. I find the relationship between Donald and Reginella tragic. They did seem to make each other genuinely happy, but they're simply too different to last. In 2005, an Italian comic was published that featured Reginella in an alternate universe sort of setting, as the story is a non-canon parody of an Italian television series called ELISA Dieruffa. It stars Daisy Duck as the servant to a noblewoman set in 1769, where she falls in love with Donald Duck, a nobleman and a nephew to the lady she serves. Reginella is a duchess who likewise vies for Donald's attention. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find the entire 13-part story, least of all translated into English, but someday I'd love to read it. I hope you Duck fans out there have a happy Valentine's Day. Until next time.